those people lowered their risk of heart attack even though they had been and they have that higher risk gene. They lowered their risk. Did something in the diet change the way that gene worked? Joining me now to talk more about it is Sonia Anand. She's professor of medicine and epidemiology at the Michael G. DeGroote School of Medicine, also a researcher at the Population Health Research Institute at McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario. Welcome to Science Friday.
Thank you very much.
Interesting study.
Yes, it is.
Let's talk about the gene. Having this gene increases your risk of a heart attack.
That's correct. It is called the 9p21 gene, and it was discovered in 2007. And since that time, many investigators around the world have replicated this finding, so we really understand this gene quite well. And it appears as though if you have one copy of the bad gene or two copies of the bad gene, you have a significantly increased risk of a heart attack.
And you found that people who were given a healthier diet, even though they had a higher risk with the gene, their risk of a heart attack was lower.
Well, what we observed, first of all, we wanted to determine if the 9p21 gene was actually a risk factor. We confirmed it. Then we looked at whether or not a prudent diet, which is high in raw vegetables and fruit, protected people against heart disease, and it did. And then we looked at groups of people in combination. So we divided people up by their gene status, divided people up by their dietary status, and we found if you had the bad gene and consumed a bad diet, meaning one low in raw vegetables and fruit, your risk of a heart attack was increased by 30%. If, on the other hand, you had the bad gene but consumed a good diet, high in raw vegetables and fruit, your risk of a heart attack was no different than compared to someone who didn't have the bad gene. So in fact, it was brought back down to 1.
Does that mean that these fruits and veggies have some mechanism to turn the gene off or affect how it's working?
Well, from this broad